So now students move to the next topic, that what is the importance of textile industries for the Indian economy. Okay, so I'm again telling you what is the importance of textile industry for the Indian economy. Okay, so first we have the close association with agriculture. Okay, as we know that this industry has come links with agriculture and provides livelihood to farmers, cotton ball work pluckers, and workers engaged in the ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing and designing, packaging, tailoring and sewing. So the close association with agriculture. Fine. So second, we are having demand creative. So cotton textile is a demand creative industry. Example, it supports many other industries such as chemical, dyes, mill stores, packaging, material and engineering works. Okay, so third, we are having employment. So the industry provides employment to a large number of skilled as well as unskilled workers. The hand spun khadi provides large scale employment to weavers in their homes. Okay, so fourth, we are having decentralization. So the industry helps in industrial decentralization, as 90% of weaving, cutting and processing in the decentralized sector. Okay, so 4 points we are having in this regard. First, close association with agriculture. Second, we are having demand creative. Third, we are having employment. Fourth, we are having decentralization. So student, let's move to the next topic, that the cotton textile industry has the largest concentration in around Mumbai, yes, Maharashtra, and Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Okay, so give reasons. So now we are having a topic like we are going to discuss that what are the reasons that cotton textile industry has the largest concentration in around Mumbai, Maharashtra, or Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Okay, so what are the reasons that why the cotton textile industries has the largest concentration over there? So first point in this regard, we are having availability of raw material. There is a large scale production of cotton in this region, hence there is a regular supply of raw material. Next, we are having favorable climate. This region has an equitable climate which ensures the production of cotton. Okay, so this was the second one. Third, we are having export facility. So Mumbai is the major seaport of India. Through it, good quality cotton, machines and the raw material are easily imported and finished products can be easily exported. Okay, so this was the main reason for the availability of cotton textile in Mumbai. So next, we are having availability of capital. A large amount of capital is also required for the establishment of textile industry, and the required capital is also available in the markets. This was all about this topic. Let's start the new topic now, that what is the growth of cotton industries or cotton textile in India. Okay, so question can come to you in any way. Yeah, like discuss the growth of cotton textile in India. Okay, so first is the first textile mill was set up in Mumbai. At present, there are around 1798 cotton textile mills, and their production is about 2,365 crore meters. Okay, so whenever you will get the growth of cotton textile industries in India, you have to elaborate your answer in this way. So cotton textile industry is only biggest industry of the country. It contributes about 20% of the total of industrial production. It provides employment to around 624 lakh people, and the industry provides a source of livelihood to farmers, cotton ball pluckers and workers engaged in the ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing and packaging, etc. Okay, so that's why this industry is very important, have a very important place in India's economy. And the state of Maharashtra, if we talk about Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat leads in textile. These are the states which are the leading states of textile industries. So Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Coimbatore, Madurai, Indore, Kolkata, etc. are the main centers. These are the main centers of Indian textile industries. Okay, so this was all about the growth of cotton textile in India. Let's move to the next topic that is related to jute. Okay, so now we will do the questions which are very important related to jute textile industries. Okay, so first topic we are having in this regard that the jute textile industry is mainly concentrated in Hooghly Basin. Mention the four factors. Okay, so factors can be asked to you like the why the jute textile industry is mainly concentrated in the Hooghly Basin. Okay, so question can come to you in this way also that why are the most of jute mills of India located in West Bengal? So okay, so whenever you will get this question, you have to answer that the reasonable, the reasons responsible for the concentration of jute textile in Hooghly River or in the West Bengal are the first one we can write that West Bengal is the home of jute. Okay, it produces the highest number of bales of jute fiber. Second, we are having the industry consumes huge quantities of water which is easily available from the Hooghly River. And the third is cheap labor is available from the adjoining states of Bihar, West Bengal and Orissa. Okay, so if required, jute can be easily imported from Bangladesh also. So fifth factor we are having in this regard, the transportation facilities. Yes, students, transportation facilities are also available there. So this is also a very biggest factor for concentration of all the jute mills or the most of jute mills of India which are in the Hooghly Basin or in the West and in the West Bengal. So next topic we will start that what are the challenges which are faced by jute industry. So first point we are having stiff competition. Yes students, stiff competition from synthetic substitute in the international market. Second, we are having competition from other jute good producing countries like Bangladesh, Philippines, Thailand, Egypt and Brazil. Okay, so third we are having the major challenge which is decrease in demand for packaging material, jute carpets and high cost of production. Fourth, we are having the old and inefficient machinery. This is the major challenge which is faced by the jute industry in India, that old and inefficient machinery. So the government has taken several measures also to boost the production of jute goods in order to face the competition from synthetic fibers and from other countries producing jute also. So what type of steps that government has taken in this regard we are having in 2005? I just want to say one thing. In 2005, the national jute policy has been formulated with the objective of expanding quality production and increase in the use of jute. So the policy of the mandatory use of jute packaging has resulted in the increase of internal demand of jute in recent years. So after jute, we will discuss about the sugar industry. So firstly, we will discuss the characteristics of sugar industry in India. So students, India stands second in the world as producer of sugar, but occupies the first place in the production of gur and khandasuri. Okay, so in 2010 and 11, if we talk about these years, there were about 662 sugar mills in the country. And the third point we are having, these mills were located in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat along with Punjab. Okay, so this industry is seasonal in nature. Okay, in recent years, if we talk about, there is a tendency for the mills to shift the southern and western states. The sucrose content is higher in the sugarcane of South India. The cooler climate of southern India also ensures a longer crushing season. Most of the mills of South India are in cooperative sector, and these are the particular things which are very important, or the characteristics or features we can say about sugar industry. Now we will cover that what are the challenges faced by the sugar industry in India. If we talk about the challenges, so we are having some points here like the seasonal nature of the industry. Okay, old and inefficient method of production. Third, we are having transport delay in reaching cane to the factories. Need to the maximum the use of baggage. Okay, these were the four particular points or challenges that faced by the sugar industry in our India. So now I just want to tell you one more thing. One more very important question can come to you also. Like a study reveals that sugar mills are getting shifted to the southern and western states in India. Why is it so? Question can come to you in this way also, like why is there a tendency for the sugar mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western states in India? So explain any 5 reasons. It can be asked in this way also. So whenever you will get this question, your answer will be, as there is a tendency for the sugar mills to shift the concentrate in southern and western states of India. So because the sugar cane produced in the southern and western states has a higher sucrose content, the cooler climate ensures a longer crushing season. Most of the sugar mills of area are under the cooperative sectors. Regular supply of raw material is available there. Moreover, cooperatives are more successful in these areas. More government attentions for sugarcane production is given over there, and better port facilities in southern and western area are also available. So these are the particular points that have become a reason for getting sugar mills, all of the sugar mills in southern to western areas. After sugar industry, now we will move to the iron and steel industry. As other industry, iron and steel is also having a very much importance in our India. Okay, so first point we are having in this regard, we know that production and consumption of steel is often regarded as the index of a country's development, and development of various industries depend upon iron and steel industry. I'm repeating this point, development of various industries depend on the iron and steel industry. If the production and consumption of steel is more in the country, it becomes clear that our industrial development is taking place, and it is a basic industry, all our industries depend on it, and steel is needed to manufacture a variety of engineering goods also, and the goods needed for construction industry, medical, telephone, etc. are also made from steel. Just here I just want to tell you one more thing. You know that which mineral is used to harden steel during its manufacturing? I'm repeating the question. Which mineral is used to harden steel during its manufacturing? So it is a manganese. Okay, so many questions are there which are can come to you for a 1 mark questions, like a name the iron and steel plant located in Karnataka, that is Vijayanagar. Okay, name the steel plant located in Chhattisgarh, that is Bhilai. So there are lots of questions that can come to you from iron and steel industries topic. So question like which industry used bauxite as a raw material? I'm repeating, which industry uses bauxite as a raw material? Your answer will be aluminium. Okay, so one more question is there, like name the core raw material of cement industry. So it is a limestone and gypsum. Okay, so there are lots of questions from this chapter can come to you for a 1 mark also. So we were talking about iron and steel industry as it is a basic industry. So question can come to you in this way also related to iron and steel industry, like lots of industries are there. Maximum concentration of iron and steel industries are in Chota Nagpur region. So question can come to you that why has Chota Nagpur region maximum concentration of iron and steel industries? So you can answer in this way, because Chota Nagpur has a low cost of iron ore. Iron ore mines are located in the nearby areas. It helps to reduce the transportation cost of iron ore to the industries. Second, we can make a heading like high grade raw material in proximity. So other bulky raw materials like coking coal, limestone are also available in proximity here. So third, we are having availability of cheap labor. From the adjoining areas of Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha, cheap labor is also available in abundance. Fourth, we are having dense transportation network. So being an industrial region, there is a dense network of roads and railways in Chota Nagpur. Okay, next we are having port facility. Kolkata port provides facility for export of goods, and the vast growth potential in the home market we are also having in Chota. These were the particular reasons that why the lots of maximum concentration of iron and steel industries are in Chota Nagpur. So students, we know that India is an important iron and steel producing country in the world, yet we are not able to perform to our full potential. So question can come to you also in this way also, that why is India not able to perform to her full potential in iron and steel production? What are the reason for this? So whenever you will get this question, so your answer will be like high cost and limited availability of cooking coal. As the amount of coal is limited, its cost in India is high, and so iron and steel industry face difficulty in buying it. Okay, so low productivity of labor, the labor are less productive in India. irregular supply of energy is also a biggest problem over there. There is an irregular supply of electricity in India, so the work becomes more difficult. Poor infrastructure. Yes, the technological development in India is comparatively less compared to other countries. Next, we are having research and development. Yes, students, there is need to allocate resources for research and development to produce steel more, competitively, and to raise their standards to meet international levels. So we have discussed a lot of about industrial, industries. Now we will discuss about the industrial pollution and environmental degradation. So students, you know that although industries contribute significantly to India's economic growth and development, the increase in pollution of land, water, air, noise and resulting degradation of environment that they have caused cannot be overlooked. Okay, so industries are responsible for four types of pollution: air, water, land, and noise. The polluting industries also include thermal power plants also. Okay, so I think you people have discussed air, water, and noise pollution a lot of time in your previous classes. We'll discuss here thermal pollution. Thermal pollution of water occurs when hot water from factories and thermal plant is drained into the rivers directly and before cooling. And what would be the effect on aquatic life for this? Wastage from nuclear power plants are also, a nuclear and weapon production facilities cause cancers, birth defects, miscarriages. Soil and water pollution are closely related. So dumping of wastage, especially glass, harmful chemicals, industrial effluents, packaging, salts and garbage, these are the particular things renders the soil useless, and rainwater percolates to the soil carrying the pollutants to the ground, and the groundwater also gets contaminated. So now the question arises, how can we control the environmental degradation? We need industries also. But side by side, we can't overlook the particular problem which are going to be created by the industries. So what are the steps are there which can control the environmental degradation? So by minimizing the use of water for processing by reusing and recycling it in two or more successive stages, we can reduce the environmental degradation. Harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements. Treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in rivers and ponds. And treatment of industrial effluents can be done in three phases. Primary treatment by mechanical means. This involves screening, grinding, fluctuation and sedimentation. Secondary treatment by biological process. Third, tertiary treatment by chemical and physical processes. This involves recycling of wastewater. So this was all about the fresh water, that can get properly after the controlling of such type of things. So overdrawing of groundwater reserves by industries where there is a threat to groundwater resources also needs to be regulated legally, and particularly matter in the air can be reduced fitting smoke stacks to factories and with electorate precipitators. So fabric filters, scrubbers and in social separators. Smoke can be reduced by using oil or gas instead of coal in the factories. So different points we are having about different pollutions here. Okay, so now this was all about the chapter of industries. You can also think forward about this, that what are the steps can be there. Your suggestions are always welcome. So this was all about today's chapter, that manufacturing industries. Okay, I tried to cover all the particular topics that can be easy for you people. So you all are supposed to do the back exercise in your notebooks, and important terms and important particular difficult words you have to mark in your books also. And thank you so much, students.